So, travel blog 1, not doing real well. I am sitting on I-85 South, heading away from Charlotte. Been sitting in traffic for about an hour now, maybe more, and I have not seen, we haven't moved an inch in the last probably 20 or 30 minutes. There's been 3 ambulances have gone by. It's got to be a real bad wreck, and it sucks. And there are people looking through my rear view here. There's people just walking around. Yeah, this is it sucks. It's just typical of this trip. This trip has been just oh man. The original intent, when I thought about this about 3 or 4 months ago, was my original plan was to fly to Seattle and drive back to Charlotte, go through the Dakotas and like Idaho, Dakotas, Montana, that sort of thing. Because it's a bunch of it's a bunch of states and places I have no reason to ever go to. I thought that would have been cool, but it probably would have taken a little too long, which is why I had changed my plans. I was going to drive today to New Orleans and then go to San Antonio, Tucson, and then Las Vegas. But as we know, last week, the events in Las Vegas, man, I don't know what to say about all that, but I was supposed to stay at Mandalay Bay, and obviously I changed my reservation to another hotel on the Strip, but like all week, it just wasn't a good vibe. It was really not a good vibe about going to Vegas. I'm not worried about my safety or anything like that. It's just, the vibe's all wrong. It didn't feel right. It was something like that, and if it just doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. It's just the way it is. Okay, it's just like that. All right. So that I could have dealt with that, except last night the storm tracker on the Hurricane Nate had it making landfall near Biloxi, Mississippi around 7 p.m. today, which would have been right about the time I would have been driving through Mobile and Biloxi on my way to New Orleans. So that kind of killed that idea. So at the 0 hour, canceled a bunch of reservations, made a whole bunch of new ones. The idea today was I was going to be driving to Knoxville. I was going to be driving to Knoxville, Tennessee, but I was going to take the scenic route. It's only like a 4-hour or so drive from Charlotte, so it's not a particularly long trip. But I was going to go through the Blue Ridge Parkway. Man, there's a bunch of people on the shoulder now backing up. I don't know if they're making room for emergency vehicles or if they're backing up down the shoulder. Doesn't appear as though they're trying to leave. No idea what's going on here. But I was going to go down the Blue Ridge Parkway. I haven't been down the Blue Ridge Parkway since I was very, very small. I was maybe 9 or 10 the last time. I was riding with my parents, obviously. So I was going to do the Blue Ridge Parkway. I was going to take the Blue Ridge Parkway from just south of Asheville to Cherokee, North Carolina, and then I was going to hit 441 through Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge to Knoxville. It was a really scenic drive, and I probably should have known something was up when I got up this morning and it was raining. So, yeah, pretty bad as far as that's concerned. What are these people doing? Because they're not trying to turn around, they're just backing up on the shoulder. I don't know what's going on here. I haven't got a clue. They probably shouldn't be on the shoulder, though, to be honest with you. If emergency vehicles need to get through. But yeah, so I'm still doing this trip. I booked my hotel in Knoxville. I'm still going. Looks like we're moving a little bit here. I don't have any high hopes here, but we are moving forward, and nobody else is moving. I think this is just people clearing out. So, I was gonna go to Knoxville tonight. I wanted to go to a football game, but they're not. University of Tennessee is not playing this weekend, so not going there for that. I'm just gonna go and stay in a hotel, and I was gonna watch football. My plan was to go to a bar and watch some of the primetime games tonight. And I probably can still do that, but the thing is, I can't do the Blue Ridge Parkway if I do. Because this, I'll get through this eventually. I will get through this eventually. Probably, it's not going to be anytime soon. I can tell you that. There's a bunch of people crossing the highway right now trying to turn around. There's a bunch of people on the shoulder driving backwards. I won't be doing that. No, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to skip the Blue Ridge Parkway. I really hate that I'm going to have to do that. But by the time, it'll be 2 hours. It's 4 o'clock now. It'll be 2 hours before I can actually get there. Just to get to the start of it. That'll put it at about 6 o'clock. Not a lot of daylight left. The sunset's at 7. So, we're moving again here a little bit. I think it's because people are clearing out. Oh yeah, there's a cop coming up. Right up, and that's exactly what I was talking about. These people do not need to be on the shoulder because there are emergency vehicles that need to get to the scene. This cop can't go anywhere. That's fucked up. I know people are frustrated because it's taken a long time, but you can't impede emergency vehicles like this. I gotta pull over into this lane so this cop can get through. Yeah, I'm gonna try to scoot over a little bit more into the next lane. Yeah, here he goes. I talked to a trucker a little bit earlier ago and asked him what had happened. I think he said there were like 5 cars involved and a semi or something. It's real bad. This is real bad. I feel really awful for the people that are involved because this feels like there are probably fatalities involved, and that's awful. But yeah, this trip has been... I've been planning this thing for 3 months, and it fell apart at the last second. And I'm going to try to make the most of it. A lot of bad stuff, man. Like, just... This wreck is just a microcosm of the last week. Just awful things happening to people. Not a very good travel blog, especially for my first one. So, sorry for that. Hopefully, I'm going to try to do another one today, maybe a little bit later once I'm up towards the mountains, but it's going to be a little while. So, maybe by then, things will have calmed down a little bit, and maybe the rain will clear out a little bit. I'll start to have a little bit more fun, I hope. And I hate to think of it in terms like that, because my intention is not to be selfish. I've taken a week off of work for this, and I've been planning it for 3 or 4 months now. It's very unfortunate. Man, that cop has not moved at all. He's had his lights on this whole time. He's about 30 yards ahead of me. People just need to get out of the way. That's awful. So, there you go. Not a very pleasant update to my travel blog. I'm hoping that later entries will be a lot more pleasant. I should be in Knoxville later tonight. After Knoxville, I'm traveling to Memphis, my hometown, is where I was born. I'll be staying at the Peabody Hotel, which is like one of the swankiest places you can stay. And I've never stayed at the Peabody. I've been there to see the Duck March. And if you're unfamiliar, go on YouTube, check it out. It's really interesting and unique. It's a big thing. From there, I'll be going to Houston to stay with my aunt and uncle for a night. And then on my way out of town, I got a bunch of family in Houston. So I'm going to try to get together with my other aunt and uncle on my father's side. I'll be staying with my aunt and uncle on my mother's side. And I'm hoping to meet with my Uncle Robert and Aunt Mary on my way out of town, because I'll be heading to New Orleans. I'm actually going to try to make New Orleans happen again. And that'll be the last stop of my trip, and then I'm going to drive back to Charlotte. It'll be about 11, 12-hour trip, run back to Charlotte, but hopefully everything will turn out okay. We'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens. I may actually take an extra day, since my trip has been severely abbreviated. I may take an extra day. Here's another. Yeah, these people need to get the fuck out of the way. These people really need to get the fuck out of the way. This is the 4th ambulance. I don't know if you can hear that or not. These people, man, they really don't need to be on that shoulder like that. I get everybody's frustrated, but man, you just got to grin and bear it. Yeah, that is the 4th ambulance that's passed. I was hoping I'd get through this thing pretty quick, because normally when you get stuck in a wreck, behind a wreck, it goes pretty quick, and usually there's not any injuries, and you can just bitch and moan. But I think this one may involve fatalities, which is so that, yeah, not a good update for my travel blog. I'm sorry. So I'm going to cut that off there, and yeah, I'll probably report back a little bit later today. So Godspeed, everybody.